Hi, everyone. Welcome to Arno Illic's channel. My name is Sandeep Ashla, and I am an executive coach who works with leaders, helping them make decisions with clarity and confidence. And it is my privilege to interview Arno Illic, who is the author of the latest book, The World According to AI. And we will be having a conversation with him to understand some of the key nuggets that you can apply in your life. So, welcome, Arno.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm well.
One of the first things I think most of our listeners want to know is, who is this book for? Who would benefit the most from this book?
I think anybody who's kind of unhappy with their life, I think predominantly it would be from, say, mid-20s to mid-30s or even into the 40s, because they've started to realize who they are. And so now they're experimenting, and sometimes the things that they experiment with don't move the process ahead. And so I've kind of geared it towards that type of an audience.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is definitely for a younger audience who is also motivated to try different things out to improve the quality of their lives.
Yeah, if it gets too old, then or too old. If the demographic is far older, chances are that they're have settled into who they are and understand each other and so on. So even with them, though, there may be some small things in there that might resonate with them, or because I write differently than a lot of people, it might just be, oh, never thought of it that way. In fact, I had a friend of mine who just called me this morning. He got a copy of my book, and he said, you know what? As much as I don't care for artificial intelligence, I was stunned by the fact that there's a connection between how AI works and how our human brain works. So,
That is actually a very neat comment that your friend made. So I read the book and I have known you for 7 years. So actually 8. And over these years, I have absolutely appreciated how you share your life, very rich life experiences, so generously. So you are right. It is not a typical expert telling people what to do. It is inviting other people into your life and the lessons that you have gained. So anyone who appreciates that style of reading and writing would be someone who would definitely value this book.
I was going to say, so now I realize where I've made my mistake. I always wanted to be rich and going forward, but the richness is actually in the life and not in the financial sector.
Well, for those of you who don't know Arno, yes, he has a very strong funny bone, and you will see that across his examples and stories that he's shared in the book. So, one other question that I want to ask you, Arno, what is the best way to read the book? Or must somebody start from the first page to the last? Or could they use this as a resource to be a guide for their life?
It's a good question. For me, it's kind of like read it how you want to read it. Some people feel more comfortable reading from beginning to end, and that's fine. Um, Other people are looking for something specific in the book, and that's why we have a table of contents so you can go directly to that page and look to see what it is that you're interested in. But
Mhm.
there's enough there for everybody.
That is true. Would you like to share with our audience some of the topics that you cover in the book?
Well, I cover meditation partly because it's uh, it's something that's really quite misunderstood, and people get frustrated with it and they give up after a short period of time. I've included politics in there. I've included religion in there. Sorry, people. I know those are two topics we don't talk about during lunch, so don't read during lunch hour. Um, but there are other aspects too, like parenting and just understanding who you are and that you're okay the way that you are. You don't have to be somebody else.
Mm.
Besides which, you'll only be second best.
Oh, that is true. Um, if I may, couple of areas that I really appreciated was you opened the book with a plethora of topics under self-awareness. And you close the book with a lot of lessons for young leaders or leadership overall. So, whether somebody is thinking of this book as a resource for your work life or personal life, Arno really has covered the entire spectrum. So, and the chapters are short and very concrete. So, you don't actually have to go from beginning to end. You could say, you know what, right now I'm immersed in politics and I would love to see what his perspective there is. Or I'm immersed in this challenge in leadership. So, truly, the table of contents can be a wonderful guide. Any other closing comments for anyone who's thinking of purchasing this book and maybe just not sure yet?
Um, yeah, um, I look at it in terms of so long as you're open to seeing things differently than you're currently seeing them, buy the book. I mean, it's yeah, it helps me too. But on the other hand, I think it helps both of us. And there are enough things in there that you can sort of raise a Spockian eyebrow and say, "Oh, wow, I didn't know about this," or "I never thought of it that way."
Mm-hmm. Arno really is an open-minded man. I have been friends with him, as I said, for a long time. So if just in case you disagree with his stance, we welcome you to leave a comment after you read the book. What were your thoughts about it? And please contact Arno. You can find his book on every single channel from Amazon to Goodreads, or your local bookstore. So we would love to hear what your thoughts are and what resonated with you. So
The one caveat that I would say is you won't find it in local bookstores, but
okay.
you will find it in Barnes and Nobles in the U.S.
Amazing. Thank you for that correction. Well, thank you for your time, Arno, and I hope that readers can appreciate the diversity of topics you've covered.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
tuning in.